My guy, Gene Deal, man. You already know why we here. The verdict, it came in. How you feeling about it, man?
Yo, my man, listen here. I really don't have no feelings behind it, but this shit is mad funny to me, bro. Because we've been talking about this shit for so long. And like today, I was getting all kind of prank calls. People was calling my phone talking about, Diddy didn't do it, Diddy didn't do it, Diddy didn't do it, and hang up. I was like, yeah. Then I had Unique Mecca Audio call me talking about, no, Rico, no, Rico, Rico must go. Rico gotta go. Rico, I was like, man, these motherfuckers are crazy. And you got people out of here celebrating, man. Yo, check it out. They are celebrating, but he's still going to jail. You understand? They celebrate, I was thinking about some stuff. I said, yo, they celebrating for a psychotic narcissist, a sociopath sex offender, abusing and degrading women, beating on them, brother, and having them appease him and his homosexual tendencies by letting random men, prostitutes, male prostitutes, brother, ejaculate their sexual juices on them so he can lick them off. Is this what's happening in the fucking hood now? Is that what's good in the hood? Tell me, is that what's happening in the streets, brother? Is that what the industry that came down to now? They celebrating him. This is what this man is. I talked about his character, bruh. In court, we heard stuff that came up that none of us know. They out here celebrating. Yo, and talk about, yo, what Gene gonna do now? How Gene feel now? Gene good in the hood. I can go open up my refrigerator anytime I want to. Gene good in the hood. Yo, these people like, they don't understand. You ain't lived my life, bruh. You ain't been through the stuff I've been through, seen the things I saw. What you eat don't make me shit. And they wonder about how Gene gonna feel. I'm good. Yo, bro, let me just say something to you, man. Nah, I don't like this. I don't f with this. I said this 1,000 times. In the infamous words of Brutus, for all you smart motherfuckers, when he went to the Senate and said what he said about Caesar. I'm going to say the same shit about Diddy, but in my way. I'm not here to praise this nigga. I'd rather see him buried. And y'all can say and feel however you want to. Because that's the way he felt about people we all used to be around and love. Y'all can't feel what I feel. Y'all don't see what I see. But it's good. The judge showed us today. They talking about some bail hearing. They talk about, yo, we gonna, because he had 2 charges. I don't understand that people sitting there talking about he gonna get probation. No, dummy. There's a mandatory federal guidelines that the judge has to go by. If he don't go by those federal guidelines and the prosecution don't agree with it, they can appeal what the judge ruling is. So what they're gonna have to do, he's gonna have to sit there for at least 6 weeks. And they're gonna do what they call a pre-sentence report. In that pre-sentence report, it's gonna have certain guidelines that the judge gonna look at. The judge know the case. The judge know all what was thrown out. Judge know all what was contested and everything like that. The judge know the case better than anybody. Do you understand me, Mighty? So the judge is the one who's gonna decide. Just like today, can we get a bail? His mama going in there and she signed for $1 million bail and all that. He think he getting bail. And then the judge read some papers. This is how dumb people is. Why you think Cassie lawyer was there the last couple of days? They already knew this was going to happen. What did I say, Mighty? I said that if it goes before January the 4th, it ain't going to look good for the prosecutor. Didn't I say that? I said that means that they probably just get him on the sexual charges. But if it goes past the 4th, that means they really want to do their job and see and get this nigga a lot of time. Because they knew they had proved the sexual with the prostitutes, you know, paying them to come and have sex with the girls and everything like that. But we found out a lot of things about this dude in this trial, bruh. A lot of shit none of us even knew. But they celebrating this. This dude is psychotic. I don't care what you say, bruh. You look at some of the stuff that he did, and like I say, that's what's good in the hood now. That's how y'all getting down now. Licking another man's sperm off his girl. Beating women. This shit was crazy, bruh. So now, when they figure out it's gonna be up to the judge, the defense and the prosecution gonna get together with the judge and they're gonna try to agree on some numbers. The defense gonna get them some numbers. The prosecution gonna give up some numbers and stuff like that, and they're gonna agree to them. But the final decision is gonna be the judge. And after the judge read those letters from Cassie, lawyer, and her friend Nash, shout out to Miss Pleasant for being in the courtroom today. Cassie friend wrote a letter, a 3-page letter to the judge, 3 or 4-page letter to the judge. And the judge made a statement that he had completely changed his mind about some bail based on some third-party letters that he had received. Third-party letters he received. The judge know Puff is dangerous in so many ways. The jurors know that he's dangerous in so many ways. The only reason that the prosecution went for the Rico and the racketeering because they wanted to take all his money. They wanted to leave him broke. But it's some guidelines that saying doing sex trafficking that they can still probably do that, but they can't. And this is my own assumption. Why they can't is because they can't prove that he made any money from the sex trafficking. You understand? If Puff made money through the sex trafficking, like he was selling Gina and them to them guys, or he was letting niggas hit not Gina, Cassie and Jane Doe, you understand? Well, the trial is over now. Ain't her name Daphne? Yeah, it's over. It's Daphne. The trial is over now. So if he was making money off of them, then the prosecution can go after his finances and shit. But I don't believe, and don't quote me on this, but I'm damn near sure they would have a hard time to get his finances based on the sex trafficking because he didn't make no money from that. He was paying $10,000 a week to this and paying the prostitutes and stuff like that. So he didn't make no money. But had he made money and he was selling them off, yeah, it could, you know what I'm saying? It could be like that. But I don't think they have a leg to stand on that. You understand? But the prosecution did a great job, you understand, for what they wanted. I want y'all to peep game right here. They wanted to humiliate him, embarrass him, put him in jail for a little bit, which they're gonna do, and they wanted to take his finances. That's why the Rico and the racketeering came apart. Because they could have put him in jail, guaranteed 10 years, right off the bat. For what? The gun charges. They could have proved that real easy. They found the weapons in his house, in his room. You bring the officers there who took the room and secured the weapons. Where did you get this weapon from? It was in the fourth room down the hall, the master bedroom suite. You bring in the people who clean up the house. Who lives in the fourth bedroom, bathroom in the suite? Oh, that's Mr. Combs' room. How do you know that's Mr. Combs' room? Well, I clean it. How often do you clean that room? Twice a day or after the freak off or he didn't have no freak offs at home. That's why they can't take his house and stuff like that. And he used the hotel. Because if he had the freak offs in the house, they could take his house for the sex trafficking and the what's it called, but he didn't do that. They didn't say he had freak off in the house or nothing like that. He had them in the hotels. So now, so you said the fourth bedroom is Mr. Combs. You seen him in there. You clean the room, stuff like that. Boom, boom. Now you get the waitress, the waiter, the cook, whoever take him his food. Uh, you cook for Mr. Combs? Yeah, I cook for Mr. Combs. Do you ever serve him in his room? Plenty of times. So, which room is Mr. Combs? It's the fourth bedroom, the master suite, down the hall on the second floor. And you took the food there. How many times you say you take the food there to him a week? Well, if he's in the room all day, you understand? Uh, 2, 3 times a day, or whenever he call, he want me to make him a a cheeseburger with applesauce. Whatever the case. So that's Mr. Combs' room. They could establish that those guns came from Mr. Combs' room, and under the federal law, because they was defaced, he was a mandatory 10 years. They didn't even charge him with the guns. They had the guns in the description, but they did not charge him with illegal possession of a firearm, automatic weapons. You understand? Defacing the automatic weapons. They didn't charge him with none of that. I talked about this stuff for a long time. The federal government gave him a pass. I even thought they was going to do some tax evasion shit on him. Because 9 times out of 10, his taxes and everything, he was hiding money, doing all kinds of shit. Bruh, this case had nothing to do with really putting Puff in jail. Because those people are educated enough to know they could have won that case by other charges and they didn't even go for it. They didn't even go for it. That gun charge was locked, sealed, and they didn't even go for it. Why? It was about them going in there, getting those tapes. I think the prosecutor name was Damian Williams. He was sent there and put that because somebody told him in high places. Puff may be the Black Jeff Epstein. He got all the tapes of some people that are friends of ours. They found out that he had those tapes of them. Y'all go get them. Why is the southern state of New York going all the way over in California and down in Miami when they have their own divisions? Why? People ain't thinking about that. They went down there because some people told them, yo, y'all go down there and y'all go get these tapes from this dude. Because we know he got them. And he got them stored in one of these houses. They go in there, they do a raid. Bruh. They brought out they said close to 900 some bottles of baby oil. I know this for a fact. When you do a raid, you do what they call a field test on any substance you bring out that house. You do a field test on any substance that you bring out that house. They not bringing 900 bottles of baby oil out that shit if it was just baby oil. Bruh, something is rotten in Denmark. They talking about they found roofies and some shit like that in the eye drops. You ain't find nothing in the baby oil. So when you did the field test, why did you decide to bring 900 and something bottles of baby oil out the house? Something is rotten in Denmark, brother. It just don't sit right with me. And people can say I'm hating in this island, I'm just mad because man, the nigga still going to jail. I don't care for him. I don't give a fuck about him. Fuck him, anybody who looked like him, got his last name, and came in on a boat with him. When you do the people I love wrong, ain't no makeup, all this other bullshit like that. Everybody got me as being a fucking disgruntled employee and all this other bullshit. Get the fuck up out of here. I left in my own accord. Always kept two good jobs outside my bad boy hustle, outside my street hustle. And when I mean street hustle, giving parties, boat rides, events. Getting back to this case. This dude caught a blessing because Pimp Diddy got the charges that a regular pimp would get. Those charges is what they give Bishop Don Juan, Pimpin' Ken. Back in the day, those are the charges that they would get. He got pimp charges. So now he's pimping Diddy. It's crazy, bro. In this case, Cassie and Daphne both was victims, but the jury and probably was looking for more women that was victimized in the sex trafficking thing. And then if they would have brought in more women, and there was more women out there. I talked to a couple of women myself. And I was like, even the women who did the civil suits, the prosecution didn't want to bring them in because they were doing civil suits. And they knew that the defense would get on them and try to make it a shamble about, oh, it's about money. But still in all, when he go to jail, watch how many women and how many people come forward on their civil claims. You're going to have a lot of men come forward too. Watch and see. Our people got a strange way and they pick and choose who they should be loyal to, and it's strange, bruh, how they celebrating this demon, bruh. They celebrating this demon. Do you understand that? The Rico law, you understand? The racketeering, criminal enterprise, and corruption, all this other bullshit like that. It was hard for the jury to take that in because when they hear about Rico law, they hear about racketeering, they think about the mafia. They think about the mafia. So they couldn't come to grips with that. And that's okay. But I know this for a fact. He ain't getting no time served. He ain't getting no less than 5 years. He's gonna get the mandatory minimum or he gonna get more. He's gonna get the mandatory minimum or he's gonna get more. Point blank. So all you people that's celebrating and want to know how Gene Deal feel, I'm all right. This is my motherfucking Othello. This is my Macbeth. This is my tragedy in our time. This is our tragedy. Pimp Diddy going to jail. And I'm fine with that. I'd rather see the nigga going to hell. But if this the plan that God got it for him right now, it's God's plan. And what y'all don't understand, y'all celebrate thinking that it can't happen in jail. They might put him in a couple of places before he make it over there to Madoc, R. Kelly, rest of the criminals that's have easygoing spots and stuff like that. But it still can happen there. Somebody get mad. Somebody got a relative or something like that he did something to that we don't know about. And they run into him. And they hit him with his own words. Take that, take that. Then what y'all gonna say? I ain't worrying about it, Mighty. This shit is funny to me, man. This shit is real funny that the prosecution spent all that money, all that time, and all that resources when they had legitimate charges that they could have put on him other than the Rico, other than the racketeering. That gun charge is mandatory. So now you got to realize this. A lot of people going to bring up cases to the federal government. This becomes case law now. They went into Diddy versus the southern state of New York. It's whereas that they run in somebody's house, they find some guns in some rooms. The person is proven that they lived there. That's his room. But the federal government never charged him with him, and he never got time for it. You know how many people are going to bring that up in case law? So why is the federal government going after my people now? Why? It's a lot of people going to use that, bro. It's a lot of people going to use that. But I want to say, y'all, man, how do y'all celebrate somebody that we know that practically every woman that he been with He didn't beat her. Oh, she liked it. That's what y'all say. He was rich and she stayed with him. She wanted it. Y'all giving a nigga a pass because he got money. Some of the girls say he raped them. No means no. But y'all giving him a pass because he got money. Some of the girls said he had dudes defecating and peeing in their mouth and peeing on them and stuff like that. Y'all giving him a pass. I got a phone call from one of my good friends, and she said, Gene, my friend called me and she was screaming, I'm a Puffy won, Puffy won. And I was like, I'm gonna shout her out. Kim, I said, yo, Kim, he didn't win. She said, I know, but people around here celebrating and wonder how Gene Deal feel. I feel good. Because if that's what y'all celebrating in the hood, I'm glad I don't live there no more. I'm glad I don't live there no more. If that's how the music industry is doing it right now, I'm glad I don't work there no more. I don't work for nobody in the industry no more. And if you street niggas is holding this dude down, I'm glad I wasn't never in the streets. Because if that's how y'all giving it up, fuck y'all and feed y'all beans. That's what I got to say about that. That's what I feel about that. This case right here, it ain't over till the fat lady sing. And the judges want to be singing a tune for her. The jury made their verdict. They did the best they could with what they had. The people who wanted more, we was let down by the prosecution. They had more. They could have done more. But I think they were basically concentrating on trying to take his riches from him. And the law is funny. It says that if you sex trafficking and you paying prostitutes doing that sex trafficking thing, that they could probably take your money away. But I think it's more so geared to you have to be making money doing the sex trafficking, bro. And I don't think that's the case right here. And I don't know how they got that confused. Because it seemed like they may have gotten it confused, brother. But I know I've been rambling. You got any questions, man, that you want to ask me about this whole case or whatever?
Yeah, so you believe he's still gonna do time for prostitution?
The prostitution charges has a mandatory anywhere from 10 to 15. But because I don't know what the minimum of it is, but because they would consider him a first time offender, the judge gonna know that he had violence. He may not have been charged with the violence or anything like that. He's going to go to jail, and I believe the judge, after reading those letters that stopped the bail, the judge is gonna hit him with probably the max, the mandatory max. And if he don't, It just goes to prove money always buys your freedom. Sometimes. It didn't Bill Cosby because they really wanted him. They really wanted him. There's some people that they can make shit up on and they'll get them and go away. They knew Bill Cosby wasn't supposed to go nowhere. That's why when he did his appeal, he walked out those doors. Diddy is going to jail and nobody is going to be able to stop that. He's going to have to do time. He's going right now. He is livid behind those bars. He thought he was walking out that courtroom today. That dude Nash, Cassie Friend wrote a 3 or 4 page letter to the judge talking about how his life and Cassie's life was in danger. And it must have been touching because the judge mentioned it. The third party letters changed his mind. The third party letters changed his mind. People, why do you think Cassie's lawyer was there for the last couple of days? Are y'all thinking? They already knew this was coming down. They already knew that they was only going to get 2 charges on those verdicts. He already knew that Puff's lawyers was going to go to try to get him bailed. Why do you think Cassie's lawyer was there for the last couple of days, showing up in the courtroom? That didn't dawn on you? Y'all got to make sense of this. They already knew that they was not getting the Rico, they wasn't getting the racketeering, which is together basically. They wasn't getting the kidnapping and all this other shit like that. They already knew that. They knew that he was going to get the pimp charges because that's what he got. The Mann Act. He got the pimp charges. So now in getting the pimp charges, Pimp Diddy, Cassie's lawyer said, yo, I'm going to be right here to drop this letter from my client. Your Honor, don't give him bail. They gave him letters. The judge said, hold up, we're going to break for lunch. We ain't coming back to 5 o'clock. It weighed on him. He got all the evidence. He know all the stuff that couldn't make it based on litigation. He know all the stuff that should have made it but couldn't. This judge was probably one of the smartest persons in that whole room. And he understood, your brother, he understood that after reading those letters, Diddy is worse than old dog. He was a menace to society. And what'd he do? Nah, you don't get your get out of jail free card. You don't get to go past go. You don't get to land on go. You going straight back to jail. You gonna sit there and you gonna wait. So, them people just saying that Diddy didn't do it, he did do it. He scarred a lot of those people for life. Diddy did do it, y'all. And he gonna go to jail for it. Because I said this on the last program. You might not get it when you're supposed to. But karma is a mother. you gonna get it somehow, some way, somewhere. And that's what's happening. He getting it. You know what it was? For him to go back to that jail, they let his mama sign to put up $1 million bond. He think he going home. This is the time he might go back in there and really do a Epstein. I wouldn't give a damn. I wouldn't care. He might go back in there. I know he heavy medicated right now. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. He's sitting there thinking that he was going home, and the same judge that turned down a $50 million bond just turned down another $1 million bond. And I feel good about that. I don't care. And when I say I don't care, man, it doesn't move me one way or the other. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm happier. You understand? I'm happier when I know this nigga is getting his just dessert. He's getting what he deserved for what he did to a lot of people. And I don't know anybody that come and watch this YouTube and they can front all they want to. When you start loving your enemies, when you start loving people that you don't give a shit about, that did you wrong, did people that you know wrong, did dirty shit to a lot of people. When did you start loving that? Oh, when you went to a Diddy party? Or because you want to go on a Diddy world tour, a reunion tour? That's when you start loving them? This dude wouldn't piss on you if you was on fire. That's how dark his heart is. But y'all ingrates is in the neighborhood celebrating, wondering how I feel. I'm still ahead of the game. Any way you look at it. Any way you look at it. Money don't make the man. The man's supposed to make the money. But we can't tell y'all that. Bruh, this dude was a psychotic sexual deviant that beat women. Y'all seen how he beat, well, we see how he beat Cassie. Gina told us how he beat her. We heard how he beat Misa. We know Kim got tired of getting hit, that she cut his wrist. One of the choreographers, choreographers, when they had to making the band stuff, he did something to her. Countless of lawsuits that he settled out. That he settled out. But y'all celebrating him? Keep that shit in the hood. Cause if that shit is good in the hood, I don't want no part of it. I don't want a bit part of it, man. Because what it's gonna do is it's gonna cause somebody else to think they can get away with the shit that he got away with.
So I want to go back to the comments you made earlier about these tapes, and I want you to give more clarity. So you believe they only got Puffy because they wanted these tapes. What do you think is on these tapes?
Bro, you gotta realize you got people like Prince Harry. Prince Harry was at a Diddy party. You got um some of the same Universal executives. Diddy made it cool for, I'm just gonna say it like this, man, whites to hang out with the hood dudes. Dude from the hood, he made it cool and safe for them to hang out with the white executives. They used them for that. They used them enough, whereas that now you got white executives doing Diddy-like parties. Remember the dude from, what that, Frantic? The clothing line, the sports line? They was mad because they didn't get invites to his party because he was doing white parties, doing parties like Diddy. Now I ain't talking about the freak off party part of it, but I'm just saying he was doing those parties and everybody, there was rappers, or I think Stephen A. Smith said something about he was upset that he didn't get no invite. So it was those parties that everybody wanted to be at. So Diddy have on tape, he taped everything. He taped everything and taped everybody. You remember in his trial it came up. In his trial it came up. What came up in his trial? It came up that his assistant was right there. And Diddy told him, "You want to show your lawyer to me?" Gave him a condom and told him to sex the girl right there. He asked the girl, "Was she all right there?" She said, "Yeah." That's crazy, bro. So now, you think certain politicians, you think certain actors, actress, they drinking, smoking, we know they love pink cocaine. You know they got weed all in the air. They dropping ecstasy pills. They dropping what's some other kind of sexual pill. Man, do you think he ain't got nobody on tape, bruh? So now, can y'all go get those tapes? If he was blackmailing Cassie and Cassie mother had to give him $20,000 for her tapes allegedly, you think he ain't bribing nobody else? Or people ain't worried about that that they got to do business with him because they know what they did at the Diddy party? So those tapes was important. And the federal government, when they showed some of the stuff that was happening in there, you could see the jury cringing. So it was easy for them to come back with those charges for the sex offenses, or the the prostitution for selling and promoting prostitution. It was easy for them to come back with that. Listen to him. Y'all heard the same thing that I heard. When they raided his house, y'all saw the same thing I saw. They took computers, tapes. You think wasn't nothing on those tapes, y'all? You think they didn't log those tapes? Why did they hold up. Yo, I just caught a jewel. They used the tape that Cassie sent them, that Cassie had. They used the tape that Cassie had that they showed to the jurors. Why do you think they didn't use the tape that they got from Diddy house? Because that would have them had to log that in. It would have been public record. And at one given time, when it's a public record and out of this trial, you could go see it. You could go get those tapes, copies of those tapes, because it's public record. It would have been public record, bro. It's a dirty game out here, man. It's a real dirty game. They are protecting somebody. Why did Damian Wim, the first prosecutor, he trying to put it off on Trump? Oh, Mr. Trump is coming in office, so I'm gonna leave before he get here. Right after he did the Diddy, right after he did the Diddy raid, right after they got the tapes and everything, he retired. Great job. Probably got $1 million house and all that shit somewhere. Because he definitely quit and tried to put that shit off on Trump. Y'all saw what I saw. Y'all saw what we saw, the same shit. Y'all heard the same thing that I heard. They took over 256 what? Cameras and who had that many cameras in their house? I don't give how big the mansion is. It's crazy, man. It's dirty work. Listen, I know it's deeper than what we see. I know it's deeper. Y'all got to know it's deeper, bruh. Why wouldn't they charge this dude with the guns? Why ain't get charged with the drugs? They just put it in the description in the cases instead of charging with it. Why they took 200 some cameras out of there and we ain't see none of the footage or the film? We seen Lil Rob footage and films, and we seen Cassie footage and films. Why we ain't see them? Because they didn't want that shit to be public record.
Check your phone right quick. It's a video going around a King Kong celebrating the verdict. I want to get your opinion on it.
Everybody watch this press the air, sit down if you can't stand. God bless. God bless. It's like I'm living, the shit is too easy. Switching it up, I fill you up like this drink in my cup. Also fast, she toss it, make it jump. She throw it back, got me dropping my blunt. I get paid to stun. Pull up off the whip in the front. Smoking the booze like that shit with some runs. Her pussy clean, but got drunk in the trunk. Look. She gets us to try to play the victim. Outspoken, I ain't keeping shit in. W's in the chat, a nigga winning. Popping out, head still spinning. $1 million, I got them grilling me. They be taking shots, they controlling me. Nah. Fuck the world, critics and the witness. Face cleaning, trying to dirt the image. Sitting niggas down and still on business. I'm on high side, Courtroom. It's always something I got shit to prove. Broken niggas don't have to lose. I ain't one of them. What's the song to a good kid to a bad boy?
Do you have any statement? I work for Eric.
Man, why you have me look at that bullshit? Taking off his shirt, doing push-ups, all out, jumping around. Come on, man. That's some clown shit. King Clown. That's some real clown shit. Man, listen to me, man. Let me just tell you something, bro. And this is real talk. He's still going to jail. You happy because he didn't get the Rico and the racketeering. So he gets to keep his money. He gets to keep his inheritance. He gets to keep all the shit that they stole over the years from other people. That's why he happy. Him and Puff wasn't that tight. They used to go at it. People close by would tell that story. Yeah, that's still his father. But you and I both know that extra shit right out there, Come on, man. Outside the court, the judge might give him extra time for this and his antics. Puff not coming home, bro. And you got to realize at 50-something years old, he'll come out to get his Social Security or better. How old is he? Born in 69? We're like 54, 55, something like that. He'll come out and get his Social Security. He had to do 85% of his time. That right there, King Kong or Christian, acting like that in front of the courts, in front of everybody. They be taking these judges back information, these fucking the officers, they got people around there looking at that. There were victims in this case, bruh. And I know you happy for your father and everything like that, but do that shit at home in the privacy of your house. You still got a judge that's got to make a decision. I heard about the mixtape, bro. I heard some of the lyrics is on there. But when do you grow up, man, and be who you really are? Because you ain't no gangster. You don't know what a gangster is. You a prankster. You a prankster, son. Stop that. I think when the people heard the mixtape and they called him out on it, and they was checking him and they was trying to check him, but they lost, bruh. They don't have no guidance. The dude who's supposed to be doing, I don't know if he's security or whatever like that, man, what the fuck is you doing out here like this? He gets on the ground and start doing push-ups up with him. Bruh, for real? Man, put your shirt on and get your ass back in that damn car. Stop acting like you stupid. Act like you got some sense. That's when they making the dollar make them, bruh. The dollar is making them. What you happy about? You gotta realize they know his daddy's still going to jail. They happy because they feel like the government doesn't have a right to mess with nobody's assets at this time. The verdict on the Rico, non and void. Nothing. Racketeering, nothing. And I guess it was some kind of, what was the other charge? Sex or something like that? Not sex. They got the sex charges, but the Rico, the racketeering, and the kidnapping. The kidnapping, coercion, kidnapping, all this like that. All that shit was non-void. It went nowhere. It went nowhere. But you still partying? Your dad about to do some time. So he ain't getting life. Maybe he was around there dancing because Diddy ain't getting life. But you don't never know what time it is when you go to jail, because it could be your life. You could lose your life in jail. So a lot of guys lose their life in jail.
But here's the thing, though, because I was wondering this, and you brought it up earlier about the judge. And I know he's professional, but he's still human. But you believe that video can have influence on the judge?
Well, the thing about it is, a judge supposed to be held in a high esteem, whereas that he don't supposed to have those feelings, and he's supposed to base his judgment on what's right in front of him. But the judge is human. If one of the court officer, your judge, look at this, he out there dancing and stuff like that, celebrating. Judge might say, he could be happy. That's his father. Let me see if he's happy with this 10 years I give him. And some judges will do that. But like I said, he got a mandatory minimum. And whatever that mandatory minimum is, after he come from his pre-sentence report, that's what the judge and them gonna give him. That's what the judge is gonna give him.
What direction do you think Diddy should go in when he do get out?
Well, you asking me what angle do I think that he should take once he get out of prison, and that could be 10, 15 years from now, it could be 5 years from now. I I don't know, bruh. But what I would want him to do is hang himself. Do an Epstein. That's the way I feel, bruh. Like people gonna look at that shit as being harsh, not godlike and everything like that. But I don't love my enemies. I don't know what you do to yours, but I don't love my enemies at all.
But for you to say he should hang himself, I mean, that's a little extreme. I mean, what did he do for you to feel like that?
Bruh, I never really discussed the fact that um my issues with my job with nobody. You understand? Because people don't realize is that let me sit up in this a little bit. You know, I know people gonna say what they want to say. People don't realize this, brother, that it's a lot of shit that happened with us as far as when you go do a security job and you willing to die for somebody. We was in situations that I could have lost my life protecting him. But that's what I'm getting paid for. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I'm there. That's why I'm one of the lead dudes in the crew. When he's with the same gang, when I'm working for Tim Dog Buck Naked, when I'm working for Uptown Records, wherever I'm working at, you understand? I'm always one of the same guy, one of the lead dudes doing the security stuff. When me and Puff sat down and we decided that I was going to have my own contract, I said to dude, whatever you do, whatever go down, you don't know me. We bet. Cool. You understand what I'm saying? It might be situations like that, but you don't know me. When Big got murdered, the FBI at my job, the LAPD at my job, I lose my job. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now I gotta fight for my job back. Puff ain't never give me a dime. And I don't think I was supposed to ask him for it either. It's only the right thing to do. But I didn't say nothing else. I ain't saying nothing to. I did what I was supposed to do as a man. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I start crying, what the fucking baby gonna do, bro? So I got odd jobs until I fight my case. You understand? Won my case. But every time somebody bring up something, every time I go through arbitration about something, they bring this bad boy thing up because you got to understand. They came and told my job, your officer was working security in California and he witnessed a murder of arguably one of the top rappers at that time. The New York State Division of Parole at that time had just got a lawsuit because of discrimination. It was basically a white agency. So they start bringing black young talent in to deal with the parolees because they didn't have that at first. You understand? So now, me getting that report and his people telling the FBI, the LAPD about me put a ugly light on my head with the agency. You could call in. Hey, Gene Deal stepped on my toe and he ain't say excuse me. Suspend me. And the first thing they'll bring up in the reports is the incident about Bad Boy. My lawyer told him on like the third arbitration hearing, why do y'all keep bringing this Bad Boy thing up? And he did this and he did that to try to mess with the arbitrator. Y'all can't do that, but they do it anyway because they're allowed to. Then I can handle me. I'll go out and get a job. I'll shovel shit for a living. But they put stipulations in where you can't work at a certain hour, certain time. Things change, bruh. I never fought this dude for me. I fought because of what he was doing to other people. And I don't understand why it's so hard. I don't understand why it's so hard that he said some negative shit about somebody and they lost their life. With Wolf. A dude that sit around and collect money for him to make sure that he was good. This dude dies after he went to talk to Puff, with Puff supposed to do something for him and he didn't do it. Cussing Wolf's mother, talking crazy to her. If Wolf was alive, Puff would be dead. Because he either beat the shit out of him to death or did something to him. So it's not necessarily he did something directly to me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Which he did do some things to me. Because if you mess up my livelihood where I got to go out to Miami and bodyguard Scott Storch, I got to work in nightclubs now. I got to get my hustle on to take care of my family. Then, bro, you wrong. You wrong. Dude been wrong for a long time on a whole lot of situations. And he know it. So you ask me, what he do to me? He did a lot of shit. As far as fucking up the agreement that we had. That caused me all the turmoil in the job that I went to school for, a job that I trained for, a job that I worked. You know how many times they came to me telling me to quit my job and become security for Bad Boy? Yo, Gene, we'll give you 75,000. I make that in my base. What is you talking about? So, I don't know how you gonna put that together, brother, but I didn't deserve the shit that he did to me, and I damn sure didn't deserve none of the shit he caused from Big Death, from Wolf Death, and being around the shit that he did and didn't do for people what we were supposed to love. I ain't deserve to see none of that shit. It is what it is.
I've been seeing this a lot online. How you feel about the people that say that you should be worried if Diddy get out?
Motherfuckers need something to say, bro. I'm not gonna worry about somebody that I bodyguard. I'm not gonna worry about somebody that I bodyguard. And God knows I could bodyguard myself with his blessings. I could bodyguard myself with his blessings, bro. I'm not worried about that. Nothing beats an ambush, and I know that. But I'm not worried about his shit. People just need to talk about something. They want to have something to say, man. Oh, Gene got to be worried, so like that. So shouldn't I have been worried when he was out here on the street? When he was out here on the street, I should have been worried. Yo, bro, August the 14th, 1999, high-speed chase in Harlem. You understand? How I didn't know that he didn't send nobody after me then. Because niggas do that shit. They'll send somebody at you. I've seen dudes that do shit and they have niggas right there in the same clique and they didn't even know he did it. So how I know those 4 guys, 5 guns to my head wasn't sitting by him. When Roger Bonds come and say later that Diddy wanted something done to Gene Deal. How I know? That shit made the news. I got 2 scars in my head to prove it. So how I don't know, bruh? You could be working for, I've seen niggas work for dudes. I was working for them. I went back to work for them. Could have been lining me up. You never know. You never know. But this shit is over with, man. This shit is, all this shit is over with. And for what I mean by it's over with, he had his trial. He gonna have a lot of, what you call that? Civil suits. You understand? He gonna win some, he gonna lose some. Right now, he lost. Y'all could try to minimize it by saying it was just sex trafficking and everything like that, but you ain't gotta sit there and do those 5 or 10 years. He does. You ain't gotta sit there and do those 5 or 10 years. He gotta sit there and do those 5 or 10 years. Whatever the judge decides to give him, maybe more than that. But it is what it is. That's how we gonna do that. Man, I've been talking since 97. I've been on camera since 99. I've been on the internet since 2018. Why I can't talk? Yeah, it's about him. And why you so mad? Oh, another man should be gossiping about another man. That's all niggas do is talk. It ain't gossip when you talking about your personal experience, your personal relationship, and shit that you had to do with. It's gossip when you don't know and you repeating something somebody else said, that you heard somebody else say, you heard somebody else do.
How you feel about the people that's asking, what is Gene Deal going to talk about once all this is over? Even though you've been speaking about this for years, way before this came out, but you got a lot of people that's asking.
Listen here, man. We said this 1,000 times. You can't teach stupid. People gonna believe what they want to believe. You and I both know that I've been talking about this, and even some of the person, anybody who's in this camp know I've been talking way before Roger Bond said 2007. I've been talking this talk since Big died. I've been confronting this shit way before then. I was on a lot of different platforms when there wasn't a social media. VH1, MTV, Nick Bloomfield, Ricardo McKendricks Jr. from the Junior Black Mafia. His father was part of the Junior Black Mafia in Philly. Gave me $25,000 in a paper bag. We did a documentary with Miss Wallace in it. Been talking about this. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna continue to live my life. And if somebody wanna do an interview, and I choose to do an interview with them, that's my choice. They have the line of questioning. Don't nobody care about your life. They only care about what you talk about with Diddy. That's not true.
We did numbers with the 50 interview.
Yeah. I don't think that it's not a situation that me and you spoke about that we didn't do numbers. Better than some of these clowns out here. So somebody liking it. Somebody want to hear Gene Dillon what he want to speak about. It's working. So they just talking, Mighty. They just talking. Because they ain't got nothing else to do with their life. Listen, people know when I came here, I was speaking on Diddy's character, what he did, smacking his mom. Kirk Burrows said that he smacked his mom. I know he cursed his mom. I checked him on that. I was speaking on this dude character. I wasn't letting it go. What you eat don't make me so I'm going to talk about whatever I want to talk about. If you got a problem with it, tough titty. I have been talking about this character. I've been talking about this. Even today, I'm going to continue to talk about it. If you don't like it, Art be having my big picture up there. You ain't got to click on it. Art wants you to click on it. But you don't have to. But you got to. Because you know the video is going to be fire. The information is going to be strong. You can take it anywhere and roll with it.
What you got to say for the people that say you tearing down a black man?
Diddy ain't been a black man in a long time. I told you what he was. Let me read this one more time. I should know it by heart, but I wrote it. I should know it by heart. Let me show you what he is. A psychotic narcissist, sociopathic sex offender, abuser and degrading of women, beating on them and having them appease him and his homosexual tendencies by letting random male prostitutes ejaculate on those girls with their sexual juices all over them so he can lick them off. He is sadistic. That's who he is. It was proven, it was said. His own kids running out of courtroom crying. Now you got this nigga out here doing jumper jacks and push-ups with his shirt off in front of the court. How do you mock the courts like that? It's crazy.
I was talking to Suge, and he feels like they might hold Puffy the next year to try to tie him to that Tupac case.
If they can get some credible and some concrete evidence, yes. I don't think there's any out there. I tried to tell people where to start looking at a long time ago. Everybody tried to say that I said that Keefe D and Zip was given $1 million. I never, by Diddy for the killing of Tupac, I never said that. I never said that. I said me and my man seen Zip pull out a check for $1 million. He said he got it from Black Ground Records. He said he sold his label, record label. We looked at each other when Zip was driving off. We said, I didn't know he had a label. He said, I didn't know he had a label either. So that check was cashed. It had to be. They could have went and did the homework on it and see where it came from. Then they start questioning the people that wrote it to him or gave it to him. They could have did that. Bruh, I don't know why they didn't, but it ain't for me to do.
So you really believe that it's something to that check? You really believe that Diddy might have put a hit on Tupac? Because Roger Bonds, he did say that Diddy wanted to shoot her. So, I mean, it sounds like he is capable.
Well, the thing about it is, I know a little bit more about a couple of things that Roger Bonds probably don't know because I was there and when Roger wasn't there. So I know what he's capable of doing. You understand? And I heard Suge analogy about Corey and the whole 9 yards. We know he's capable of doing some dubious, diabolical, crazy shit to other people. We know that to be true. We're not worried about that. We're not thinking about that. You understand what I'm saying? We're not worried, we're not thinking about that. But we have to understand this. If they have some concrete evidence that links Puff to that car that killed Tupac, he ain't have to be there. He didn't have to be there. If they get some concrete evidence, they're going to bring him in and add him to the case. They just don't have no concrete evidence.
Right, right. Check your phone right quick. I want to get your reaction to Puffy reaction when he beat the Rico.
They drew a picture of Puff in the courtroom falling to his knees when he didn't get the Rico charge. Bruh, what did I say? This was about money. This is about him saving his money. This is about him not have to be worried about losing his empire or whatever he got left. Yeah, it could have gave him 30 years, but he's a first-time offender. And they ain't have him in there for murder or anything. He fell to his knees because that's where he used to be on. And it ain't for God. It ain't for God, bro. He fell to his knees because he knew whatever money he got, they can't touch it. They won't be able to touch it because he's still getting time. He's still facing charges. And Rico, he'd have been facing 20, 30 years, maybe life. And what else would have happened? He'd have lost all his wealth. That's all about not losing his wealth. That's what I believe. Now, everybody else can believe whatever they want to believe. Diddy team is trying to get the thing moved up for his sentencing and his time, but they can't rush the Department of Corrections. They have to do their investigation, their pre-sentence report, and give it back to the judge. And that's anywhere from 30. That's anywhere about from 30 to 45 days. You're going to have to wait just like everybody else.
Gene Deal, man. Great interview. Very insightful, man. Got to bring you back, man. Before we end it, man, let the people know what you got going on.
Well, listen here. I still got my show, the Gene Deal Show. Come, spend some time, talk, laugh about life situations, about this journey that we all been through together. Let's talk also about the 2 books I wrote. My World of Bodyguard and the Hip Hop Star, and Life After Death when Bodyguard and the Hip Hop Star. You can go on Amazon, check out the reviews and everything. And if you want to purchase them, you could go to Big Gene 52 on PayPal or Big Gene 52 on Cash App, and I'll send you a signed copy. Listen, this interview, to do a summary of this whole Diddy case, is me coming here after being on a plane for 12 hours, back and forth, flying since 6 o'clock this morning. No sleep, no rest, no nothing. To let y'all know that the Art of Dialogue want to bring y'all what y'all been asking for, where everybody else been trying to duplicate. We came here and we stuck our guns on giving y'all the truth and let y'all dissect it whatever kind of way y'all want to. Ain't nobody never hide from no questioning on nothing. This program has shown y'all what has been real about what's been going on. We ain't cut nothing. We ain't add no bullshit. We did what we had to do to bring y'all the truth. And everything that we've been saying been falling into place. Thank y'all for y'all time. We good.